What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Peter Parkour.
And I'm the Rio Jussy, and we are
the Distorted Theorists. We did not just come out of a super early screening for once. We came out 2 days late for the Blue Beetle, I guess, premiere. It was the premiere for us. It wasn't for anyone else.
Premiere weekend, but it's been a minute since we got a superhero film, and we were pretty excited to come into this one.
Since we've seen a film that we've done a review for.
That is true, because we were super busy in July, and even us YouTubers had to take a little vacation every now and again. But this is like the first James Gunn umbrella movie now for DC.
See, this is the thing. I'm not totally sure. This is something that lies in between the DC EU and the DCU.
Yeah,
it
very
was saying
gray
that
area.
this was going to be ending the DCEU, which didn't make sense to me because there's the Aquaman 2 is supposed to be coming out.
Exactly.
I don't know where that
so
is
the
right
advertising for this was also mixed.
And the first film of James Gunn's DCU is supposed to be Superman Legacy. So I'm not sure where this is. Because funnily enough, when this film starts, it gives us the Warner Brothers, and that's it. It doesn't do the DC films. It doesn't do anything like that.
So it makes you almost question the movie right off the start of where this exactly stands.
Is this a standalone movie with a DC superhero? I'm not sure.
With the stamp on it. We had mixed reviews coming out of the movie, which is always, and it was role reversal because
what did you think?
I didn't really like it. I won't go into why yet till we start talking, but I wasn't a fan of it. But you,
I didn't love it, but I did thoroughly enjoy myself with this one. I went in with super low expectations.
Yeah.
One, because
almost no expectations really.
Well,
because we
were. I don't know anything about Blue Beetle. I know Batman. I know a bit of Superman. I know Batman. That's what I know when it comes to DC. And with this one, so when it came to Blue Beetle, I wouldn't really know a whole lot about anything, but I think the message that was in the film, which it's not really a spoiler, there is more family in this movie than Dominic Toretto can handle. Okay?
But listen, like I said, we always admit I have not read a Blue Beetle comic, haven't even, to be fair, heard of the superhero until this movie started rolling out its campaign and whatever. But I just felt, for me, one of the reasons I didn't like it, to be honest, is way too much comedy, in my opinion. I felt like it just took, I felt like this film needed to have a serious undertone.
You said this had more comedy than Thor: Love and Thunder?
No. However, I was going to get there. Thor was already established in the MCU with 1 and 2, and it wasn't until the third one that they started dropping the comedy, which everyone was ready for a refreshed Thor at that point. This is the first film that's supposed to kick off our new interest for DC, and I just felt like this deserved a serious undertone. In Iron Man, which I'll only compare it to that because it was the first one in the MCU, Tony Stark was a funny character. However, everything around him was serious for the most part. So it made you have that very serious vibe, but then Tony Stark did his thing, or Robert Downey Jr. did his thing. But in this one, Zolo was just funny right off the start. The family was over funny. It was just over dramatics, and that was kind of what took me out of the action adventure, I guess, so to speak.
I think this is why it was refreshing for me as a DC movie, because when we went to see The Flash, that was disgustingly funny. It was not isn't haha, this is funny. This is not even close to what should be allowed in one of these films, because again, The Flash is not supposed to be.
Yeah, we thought it was going to make us feel a certain way, but at the end, it leaned on its comedy too much.
But with this one, I felt it was a bit more refreshing because I didn't find it hilarious. Maybe I have
it had its beats, like you say.
It did. But beyond that, instead of us waxing melodic about the...
Why do you always sneeze when we're filming these things? Keep it real.
Undertones of anything like this. We should probably get into what the actual parts of the movie that we were impressed about with.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about the cinematics.
No, go ahead. You lead us up.
I was really impressed with the mix of practical effects with CGI. There's a large part of this movie that actually is a throwback to what I would think is the 80s and 90s. Not in just the aesthetics of the design of logos and the neon.
I got Stranger Thing vibes a lot of this.
Well, and the music was really good with that, with a lot of the synthesizer. But there is one set piece in this movie that is largely practical and is made, and when it is CGI, when it does become CGI, it is still made to look very practical. It's not super sleek, it's not super aerodynamic, it's just this big thing, and I think it's great from that perspective.
One thing I do want to say about, I guess, CGI or cinematics in that perspective is one of the things I did really enjoy was the initial transformation of, was it Jaime Reyes? Jaime Reyes into Blue Beetle. The sequence of events that, like, his body starts being taken over as a symbiote-host relationship. I was watching that, and I actually was in the middle. I was like, oh, this looks actually dope, like even better than Iron Man or Spider-Man nanotech suit. It actually looked like it was physically, like bleeding edge armor, I guess, is it from the Iron Man comics? It looked kind of like that, and then it was almost demonic for a second. I was like, oh shit. And then we had our montages. This is in the trailer, but seeing it in the theater and seeing it play out in whole as the whole was really cool. And then you, of course, as every superhero movie, you get your little learning montage, and that was all cool. But like I said, I think it was the family stuff that kind of did take it out. Really, I don't know. For me,
it was fresh. It was fresh instead of there's aliens. Yeah. We must figure out. Like it was nothing. It was just like my family is in trouble. I need to figure out how to do it. In our world, we pull up ourselves by our bootlaces, get a career, and go on from there. In this perspective, there was a different way that this kind of happened, obviously, because it's a superhero movie. And the message that comes from it is, again, just kind of fresh, in my opinion. It's nice.
I just wish that the progression of the movie, it was almost like a bit jagged for me. It's like stuff that happened midway through the movie should have almost been his first test, like with foot soldiers and stuff. Instead, he almost got into the big bad first, and I don't know, I just felt like it should have been more linear, I guess, if that makes any sense.
And getting into that, the cast of the movie was pretty good. I know one person.
We won't claim to know.
I know two people in this movie, George Lopez and Susan Sarandon. It's Susan Sarandon. That's who it was, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Susan Sarandon didn't really...
May I comment one thing about her is that...
I like Susan Sarandon.
I mean, she's a great actress, but I felt like in this movie, she did not act well. But that was just my opinion.
I think someone was looking for a mortgage.
Yeah, I don't think she chose to be in this movie because Blue Beetle was a passion of hers, if we want to say that.
But I think everybody else did dial it in. Again,
I got a feeling this was a breakout role for a lot of these actresses, and some being older, some being younger. So I do believe that they had their best foot forward to make this as good of a performance as they could with the material they had. And I also don't know, do you have any insight to, was this affected by the writers' strike and everything, or was this well taken care of before that?
Done,
I'm pretty sure. So I wasn't sure, because now we're almost in that territory where you don't know what hands have been on what, and if a movie fails, is it because of something? Is it not? Is it just the way it was, directed or whatever? And that's just the realm we're in right now with the cinematic scene, which makes us worried sometimes. But like overall, where do you think we go from here now with the Blue Beetle and I guess the future of the DCEU and where this fits in?
I don't know, because I don't know when we're going to get to see Aquaman 2. Superman Legacy is a ways away at this point. The most they alluded to in this film was name dropping a few of our heroes, which again we won't spoil, but that's the extent. So like, did they just do that to merely connect it? Probably. I have a feeling that this was a safe bet for the filmmakers and producers to be like, this could turn into something, but if it doesn't, which is too bad for the cast involved and those that, if this doesn't go ahead, that may not work on something like this again. But overall, if this is a one-off...
And I was just about to say, really and truly, is that if this was the only film made and it does not fit anywhere, it does not connect anywhere else,
it worked.
It is something that could be, that happened, see you, and we move on and move forward. So I do believe Superman Legacy is going to be the big gun of the DCU kicking off. And of course, we're excited for that. Even as much as we want to see Aquaman 2, is it going to matter? We don't really know. I don't think it is, but... Maybe you...
The movie that I'm most looking for out of the DC universe is not related to any of these cinematic universes. I'm looking forward to the Batman 2. So that's its own...
Do we have any insight to that? Nothing
no,
crazy?
Because we're here to talk about Blue Beetle.
All right, fair enough.
So...
As always, what is your final thought?
My
on
final
this
thought
movie?
on this, I thought it was, it wasn't.
And your rating.
It wasn't the best movie of all time. It wasn't the best movie that I've seen
Yeah.
this season, but it was a welcome surprise. I thought it was a fun movie. It's a great movie if you don't have to bust down the door to come and see it, but
No.
it's worth
Take your
it to
time,
see
take
it
your
in
time.
theaters. Don't wait for streaming. Don't wait for a
No.
physical release.
No.
Go see it in theaters because I think you'd enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
really and truly. I'm
of
going to
10?
give it 7.2.
7.2. For me, and like playing off what you just said, definitely I would go to theater see it because I did enjoy it in that aspect. But I wouldn't rush there. I mean, take your time. It's a hero movie. We all got to go see it. We love our hero movies. For me, for just the way that it was a bit jagged, and the hero, I'm going to give it like a 4 out of 10. For me, I know. Listen, I'm sorry. Usually,
you had high.
I know. I
hopes.
did. I had high expectations because when he, in the trailers, when he says you can create any weapon, I expected a lot more of that as well. But as not to spoil,
Money.
Yeah, exactly. So we got tangled up there, but I'm so glad that we came out and see it. So
Yeah,
and I'm
I
glad
was-
that
I
you
was
guys
glad to
joined
see
us
it.
for the review. As always, if you want to support the channel, and we do appreciate it, if you could hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, help us grow from here.
And thanks again for Cineplex for hosting us on this
Yes.
night.
Thank you so
and
much.
taking care of us. And as always, going forward, a big shout out to Cineplex.
We love them. I am the Rio Jussy.
I am Peter Parkour, and like we always say around here,
Keep it real.